I have a second channel, Cube Compium TDX. Hey everybody, here we have two laptops in for service. These two laptops were handed over from a friend to see if they're salvageable, and it looks like at least one of them should be. The one left is a Compaq CQ57 Presario laptop. The one on the right is a Toshiba satellite. The Compaq physically is in better condition than the Toshiba. Of course, as many know, Toshiba's laptops are just not built all that well. Apparently something has popped loose inside here. Perhaps the hinge that attaches to the display lid is real loose, because when you go to close this thing, you can see it already. Just how loose it is there. The power jack looks like it's shoved in. So yeah, the Toshiba, it might be a parts donor for all I know. The Compaq though, the only thing I see wrong with it so far is just a missing key off the keyboard. And I may actually have a keyboard for this, provided the, I think it's a CQ52, some similar model of Compaq laptop. Provided it's the same keyboard, I could actually replace that keyboard. Also, I have a battery in here somewhere, an expanded capacity replacement battery pack for one of these. It came off of a parts donor laptop. But I think the most important thing to check out is to see if the thing works. Okay, I got the Compaq plugged into a power source. That was the thing. The client lost the AC adapter for both of these. You know, I told her, he's like, "Yeah, I have that stuff, so I can test these things out." So, anyways, see if this one boots up. Oh yeah, at least it has lit the screen up. I did see a cursor there for a second. Oh, it's resuming out of hibernation. Okay, I'm gonna point the camera down for now because I don't want to reveal any personal information. There's no telling how long this thing has been sitting in standby or hibernation. Probably years. I think probably, let's see. No password. Okay, I gotta leave it pointed down because there's like there's stuff I can't show on YouTube. Personal stuff. Yeah, this thing is in fact running. It's like, oh my gosh, it actually runs. It's just like nothing's even wrong with it. It's just, yeah. One thing I will do to both of these is back up the files off the hard drives. And I'm already thinking the Compaq's going to be the good candidate here for refurbishing. Put Windows 10 on it because, of course, Windows 7 is what it has on right now. Is going to expire. Really, security is going to run out for it pretty soon. And it looks like we have some adware on this thing too. I'm seeing things like Optimizer Pro and Super Ad Blocker, and yeah. Yeah, this thing is it's wanting me to update everything. I apologize, guys. I had to point this down, but there's a family photo right there on the desktop. I can't show that on YouTube. Let me see if I can get something full screen here. Oh, come on. It's definitely not running the greatest. I mean, well, I should say it's running, but it's not running very fast. Because anything and everything on this computer is wanting to suddenly download and install updates, which the machine is not on the internet right now, so it can't do that much. Okay. Alright, so we now have something full screen on here. I want to take a look at the specs on this thing. What's interesting about this machine is I'm wondering how difficult it would be to upgrade the processor in this thing, because it's running a base-in Intel Celeron. It's definitely gonna need some RAM. Only got 2 gigs of RAM in this thing, but yeah, it's amazing. It's working. You know what? You know what's really funny, guys? Is I'm running this thing off of a Dell AC adapter. Yes, down on the floor. You can in fact run HP and Compaq laptops off of Dell AC adapters. They have the same exact plug and same voltage, but you generally can't do it the other way around. Well, the machine will typically start up, but it will say, at least when you try to run a Dell machine off of the HP adapter, it will it'll say AC adapter not recognized, not wanting to charge a battery and stuff like that. But this thing's just running along just fine. So yeah, we have a general idea of what the specs are on this thing. So it's definitely capable. It would need some upgrades. Definitely the RAM, and I'm also going to see what socket this Celeron processor uses, because I may have a compatible Core i3 laying around that wouldn't actually fit in this thing. I did pull a Core i3 out of a machine a few years ago, and it's sitting in my stash of CPUs. So, oh wait, one more thing. What size hard drive we have in this thing? And how much stuff do we have on the disk? I'm going to assume we have a 320 gigabyte hard drive in this thing. Yeah, we definitely do have some files on here. Looks like anyway, so I definitely get those backed up before I do anything else to this thing. Now the Toshiba, we'll have a look at it in a moment. I'm not going to start it up just yet. I'm probably going to have to tear into it and see what's going on in here, but chances are likely this Toshiba is going to probably be getting used as a parts donor if it's in a real bad condition. I mean, I might have some compatible replacement parts stored up there in my stash of laptops, but yeah, we'll see about that. So anyways, I'll move on to the second one. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and tear into this thing, because we got to figure out why this thing is why the lid's messed up, and also go ahead and pull the hard drive out to back up the files. Here's our hard drive. There's our screw right there we're going to take out. Set that off to the side for now. This machine has 3 gigs of DDR3. So this one has more memory. This one also has a better processor too. It has a Pentium rather than the Celeron, which is a step up from the Celeron. Anyways. Yeah, this thing here is about dead. It might not make it through this video. Some of these I'll have to use a regular screwdriver anyway to get at, because they're in there so deep. So yeah, if I didn't mention, I got the other machine backing up files right now. Now, I was looking at it, it looks like the battery that's in this machine is charging right up. It was at like 0 when we first turned the machine on, and now it's at like 7%. So the battery that's in the thing might still be good. Huh, interesting. I see a spot here where the where a screw is missing, and it's in the same spot that the lid got really stressed. Okay, so let's put this thing back up carefully. Sorry you can't see what I'm doing here for a moment, but I gotta pull this keyboard out. And I don't want to stress the lid too much on this thing. Oh, there we go. We can slide it right back, and now you got your view. Yeah, I may have a compatible keyboard for this thing, but I think right now we have bigger things to worry about with this one than the keyboard. And it is raining on me to become a rain shower outside. There was like a 30% chance of thunderstorms tonight, but wow. Yeah, I don't have either of my cameras outside for Comp MDX either. I might have to do that. So, okay, the keyboard's out. We're going to stop for just a moment. Okay, cameras are out now. So in case this does blow up into a full-fledged storm. Okay, so the keyboard is now out. Keyboard has definitely seen its better days. It's missing one key, and yeah. So, but as mentioned again, keyboard may be the least of our worries right now. Okay, let's see the damage. Apparently it's still a screw. Yep. These things have screws everywhere. Oh yeah, we got some damage for sure on this on the body of this thing. I mean, it's just tore slap up in here. So, what's happened here is the plastic where these two screws used to reside has since snapped loose. That's not very good. Yeah. You know, I'm curious if the thing will post or not. So it looks like the power jack in this thing does look like it's still okay. So I do still have the RAM. I do still have the RAM installed on this thing, I do think. So I can find a Toshiba compatible adapter in my stash over here. If not, I can use my universal adapter. I want to see if this motherboard will run. Now, there's no keyboard or anything like that attached, so I won't be able to do much anything. But it would be cool to see if it posts. See if the motherboard's any good. Alright, so let's see if this thing will start. Yeah, we have some life. Yeah, look at there. So we do have a functioning motherboard. That's sweet. So I guess what we can do now is I'll look and see if I have a compatible shell for this thing, because this shell is wrecked up. If not, I'm thinking we're going to probably be parting this one out. I might get with the client, just let her know that yeah, this one's pretty badly damaged. Pretty much the whole idea of this was she wanted to have a working laptop. Both of these old laptops, she lost the adapters for them, and they were sitting, I guess, sitting in her closet for quite some time. And she met me recently, and figured we're going to get these things working, or at least try to get one of them working. So that's nice to see we have a working motherboard on this one at least. Go ahead and power it back off. So I guess we're going to stop with this one for now. We're going to focus on this one. Okay, but if I hadn't mentioned it, the client is interested in having this Compaq restored in the Toshiba. I'll just keep it for a parts donor. So the next thing we're going to be doing to this thing is we're going to be upgrading the processor. The Celeron's coming out. It's a Sandy Bridge based Celeron, and I'm going to upgrade it to an Ivy Bridge based Core i3 3110M. You guys may recall in an older video several years back, I did this on a Toshiba laptop that had, eventually it was determined that the machine had motherboard problems. So I didn't keep that one, but I did pull the processor back out of it. This is an Ivy Bridge based processor, if I didn't mention already. The upgrade was successful, but the motherboard had damage to it from another thing. It was a machine I picked up at the Goodwill Computer Works store many years back. But anyways, we're going to repeat this on the Compaq. So we'll be tearing this thing down and pulling the motherboard out and changing out the CPU. Okay, we'll go ahead and tear this one. And just recharge the cordless screwdriver. And pull out the battery. This battery seems to still be good. I didn't mention already, which is kind of amazing. So let's see if this will access any of these screws. No, nope, no. So we'll do it the old-fashioned way. Okay, so after pretty much a full teardown, we got the motherboard out to change up the CPU. Yeah, if only more machines were built like the Dell Inspiron 1525, where you just pull off one door and there's your CPU. I'll never understand it. But anyways, I guess it could be worse. It could be like newer laptops that had the CPU soldered to the motherboard instead of using a socket, like they should. But anyways, we're going to pull off this heat pipe cooling assembly. Pull it out to the side. And there's the original Intel Celeron. I'm going to grab some paper towels. We'll get this stuff cleaned up. So the existing processor that's in this machine is the Celeron B800, 1.5 gigahertz with 2 megs of cache, and we're replacing it with the Core i3 3110M with 3 megs of cache and 2.4 gigahertz. So it should make for a nice upgrade. Get this stuff cleaned up good. And change this out. And we're going to apply some, before I apply the thermal paste, I'm going to use some isopropyl alcohol to clean this up a little better. And of course the alcohol is preferred on computer components because how quickly it evaporates. It evaporates really rapidly. So it looks nice and clean. Now I'm going to apply some fresh thermal compound. I'm going to gather the stuff to do it with. Okay, now I'm going to apply some fresh thermal compound to the processor. In this case, what I'm also going to do is spread it. We're dealing with an actual CPU die, and we want to make sure that there is thermal compound on every spot of it. Of course, with processors with lids or integrated heat spreaders, it's a little different. In that case, you have the debate between spreading versus just putting a blob in the center. But on these, I think it's best to spread and make sure you have the entire thing coated with thermal compound. I've seen some people on YouTube videos mistaking this as a CPU lid. No, that is the actual processor. That is the actual chip that puts out the heat that needs to be cooled. And with this one being kind of lengthy, so make sure we want to have the entire thing covered just to be safe. So go ahead and pop this back on. And there is a orientation, or at least it's numbered in order 1, 2, 3, 4, so we'll install the screws in that order. Start out with 1, and 2, and 3, and last but not least 4. Okay, that's it. And go ahead and plug in the cooling fan, since I unplugged it when I was tearing this thing apart. At the time I wasn't sure what was going to what, so I pulled it loose just to be safe. Okay, so now we'll be putting this thing back together. Okay, so the i3 did not work. I'm thinking it's probably due to the BIOS in this machine. Probably should have considered flashing the BIOS on this thing before I went to change out the processor. But I did go ahead and install a Pentium B970, which is a 2 meg cache, 2.3 gigahertz processor. I think it's based off of Sandy Bridge. Yeah. This is the processor that came out of that Toshiba laptop that I got years ago. And I call it the Toshiba for many reasons, because that thing was a piece of, well, you know. The keyboard was garbage. The motherboard had issues. Yeah, that thing was cursed. But the CPU that came out of it originally is now in this machine, and it should makes it for a nice improvement. Also, I doubled the RAM. I doubled it to 4 gigabytes of memory, and it's already, even on the existing Windows 7 installation, it's working a whole lot better than it was. Now the keyboard, I looked at the other machine that I thought was a match, but actually it wasn't. The keyboard was slightly different on it. So, I mean, this keyboard's still perfectly fine except for these 2 keys. It's still usable. I just have to maybe put a little note here. This is end and this is the up arrow, but I mean, the keyboard otherwise works fine. So, now I'm going to go and do some stuff to this thing. I'm going to go ahead and, I've already backed up all the files. I can go ahead and proceed to get Windows 10 put on this thing, and I'll probably resume the video afterwards. Okay everybody, now I have Windows 10 1903 installed, along with some of the basic software such as Chrome, Firefox, Acrobat Reader, all that good stuff. I'm getting close to being wrapped up with this thing, but I figured I'd go ahead and just take a moment to do a little video showing this thing after all the work's been done to it. I just pulled this thing out of hibernation like a minute ago. And of course now it seems like the bottleneck in this thing is a hard drive, which of course to be expected, but we got a lot more memory now and a better processor. So it's the Pentium B970 2.3 gigahertz. It's a Might be a single core processor. Let me see here. No, it's a dual core. Dual core. It was just the way the graph was shown here. But it's got 2 megs of level 3 cache, which is better than the Celeron this thing had. So while it isn't the Core i3-3110M, it's definitely better than what this machine had before. So anyways, I think that just about wraps it up. So we took this machine here, which was not that great to begin with, upgraded it into something better and got it working, and that way the client will have a nice machine to use for her needs. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Well guys, that's it for this one. But it doesn't have to be. There's plenty more videos on the channel to check out. Also, if you liked the video, please click the like button. And if you absolutely hated it, there is the alternative button as well. But yeah, please subscribe to the channel. I definitely appreciate it. And remember to click the bell so that we get notified of all updates. Also, if you're interested in things aside from computers and technology, check out my second channel. It's Compaq MTDX. Over there you'll find videos about weather, elevators, bicycling, and pretty much whatever else I figure out to upload. So yeah, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you for your support.